Our word of the week this week comes from a suggestion from my old friend Joe McBride. Joe is deeply studying the book of Revelation, and he raised a question in chapter 22 about a particular phrase that prompted this week's word of the week. Let's take a look in the ESV, chapter 22, of 3 occurrences of this phrase. And I'm only quoting the beginning of each of these 3 verses because it's the only relevant part to what we're looking at. So, verse 7a, and behold, I am coming soon. Verse 12a, behold, I am coming soon. Verse 20a, surely I am coming soon. So the question that we have this week is about this phrase, I am coming soon. Let's take a look at it in Koine. Erkomai taku. So our word of the week this week is taku. Quickly, soon, speedily, swiftly, without delay, in a short time. These are all meanings of this adverb taku. It has a broad semantic range. So erkomai, I come, taku, quickly. That's the question that we have. What does this phrase mean? And to unpack it, erkomai is very simple, transitive verb, I come, I go. But it's the taku, it's the adverb that modifies the verb that gives us the interesting stuff this week. This phrase, erkomai taku, occurs 5 times in the book of Revelation. All 5, it is Christ speaking. The first 2 are in 2 of the letters to the 7 churches in chapters 2 and 3. Then we have our 3 in chapter 22. There is a 6th semi-occurrence in chapter 11, verse 14 that we're going to look at a little bit later. But when we get there, you'll see that there's a difference. It's not Christ speaking, and there's a difference in the usage. So our word, taku, we can group the meanings into 2 sets, okay? First, we take taku as quickly, swiftly, speedily, without delay, at a rapid rate. That applies mostly to the actions of a person, what someone is doing. Then the second grouping has to do with the timing of events, and that's where we get in a short time or soon. And so the difference in the 2 is whether we're looking at what a person is doing, the nature of their activity, or whether we're looking at events in a chain, or even a change in the characteristics of what is happening. Okay, and we'll see examples of both of those in just a moment. So let's start out with Matthew chapter 28, verses 6 and 7. And this is that first group where we're looking at the actions of a person. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come, see the place where he lay. Then go quickly, taku, and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead, and behold, he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him. See, I have told you. So if you look at that story, they go to the tombs to minister to Jesus because the time was short on Good Friday and they wanted to finish caring for him properly. When they get there, the tomb is open. There's a messenger who speaks to them and tells them not just to go to the disciples, not, hey, when you get around to it, go to the disciples, but go quickly and tell his disciples. This is supposed to happen now, right? It's not talking about in a short time or soon, because if that were the case, you could say, well, what is soon? Within the course of this week, before the sun goes down, what is soon, right? But quickly, there's an urgency in the message. His disciples need to know that he is risen. Go quickly and tell them. Right? The next example comes from the story of Lazarus, and this happens while Lazarus is still dead in his tomb, and Mary and Martha are at home with the mourners, and Jesus comes to the house, and Martha comes and tells Mary that Jesus is here, and this is what we read in John chapter 11, verse 29. And when she heard it, she rose quickly and went to him. So, again, not talking about in a short time or, not in a not great stretch of time or soon, but quickly getting up and going. And let's take a look at it in Koine so we can see that specifically. You'll notice on this slide that it looks like it's a duplicate, but let me explain. So first, on the top line, ergathe, taku, kai erkato pros auton. So ergathe, she rose up, taku, quickly, kai erkato, and she went, pros auton, to him. So she rose up quickly and she went to him. Why do I have this second batch of stuff? Let's take the taku, or quickly, and move it away from agerthe and put it with erkato. We'll change it from the first verb to the second verb, because in Koine, we can do that and not lose the meaning, right? So ergathe, she rose up, kai erkato taku, and she quickly went, pros auton, to him. So either way, we get the same thing. And the beautiful thing about this adverb is that we could apply it to both verbs. She quickly rose up and she quickly went to him. The dynamic here is about her action, her mode of action. She went quickly to him. Why? Because she's disappointed that he didn't come. She gets there and says, if you had been here, he would have lived. He didn't have to die, but you didn't come when we sent the message, right? She has an urgency because of the emotion of the situation, and she wants to get to Jesus with her concerns and questions. She rose up quickly and went to him. There we have again the action being depicted using taku, the adverb, modifying the verb. Let's take a look at a couple examples of in a short time or soon. The first one is from Mark chapter 9, verse 39. In a previous Koine Corner, we've talked about this passage. Jesus is talking with his disciples, and John says, Master, we saw a man casting out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him. And here's Jesus' response. But Jesus said, do not stop him, for no one who does a mighty work in my name will be able to soon, taku, afterward, to speak evil of me. So this isn't talking about the quickly speaking. This is talking about soon afterward going from casting out demons in his name to cursing him. A change in the characteristic of the circumstance, a change in the scenario, but this isn't describing the manner of that man's acting, which we might want to translate as quickly or swiftly or speedily. That's not what we're dealing with. Jesus is saying, you're talking about a dramatic change in circumstance to go from doing mighty works in my name to cursing me is a pretty big change in circumstance, right? And it's unlikely for that change to take place in short order. You don't soon go from A to B when A is casting out demons in my name and B is cursing my name. See how the dynamic works there. The next example is from Revelation 11:14 that I mentioned earlier, and this is speaking of the woes in Revelation. It says in verse 14, the second woe has passed. Behold, the third woe is soon to come. Soon, taku. Could it be quickly? It could, if it means that the woe is going to occur fast, like a rapidly occurring woe. But when we have ordinals, second, third, those are ordinals, right? What place did you come in the race? First, second, third, fifth, 19th. Those are ordinals. And so we have ordinals here. And in the order of these events, we're told that when the second one is finished, the third one is soon to come. It's going to come shortly thereafter. It's not necessarily going to come quickly, but it's going to come shortly thereafter. So there's two examples for us to see events, circumstances that seem to take taku better as in a short time or soon, whereas the actions of a person seem to take it better as quickly, swiftly, speedily, at a rapid rate without delay. right? Here's the real challenge. This is by no means a concrete delineation. This is a subjective, context-driven, almost, you have to go by feel in what you're reading to make a choice on this. In fact, if you think back to the first three parts that we read, the erkomai takus from Revelation 22, the ESV, of which I'm a fan, chose to translate all three of those soon. I would translate all three of those as quickly. Subjective choice. The question here is what would you do with it? Now, I'm going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in here. It's kind of an anti-monkey wrench. If we were to take any of these things as immediately, right? So we're going to take away any ambiguity, any sort of semantic crossover in the meanings of taku. There's a word that means immediately, instantly, right now, and that word is euthus. So if we think back to Mary and Martha, if it said agerthe euthus, she immediately got up and went to him, right? Immediately. There's no question there that it's about her acting. Boom, right now, got up and got going. But that's not what we read in John 11, right? We read ergethe taku. She got up quickly and quickly went to him. So now let's go back to our three statements in Revelation 22. Erkomai taku, I come quickly. The challenge here is if we want to make it soon, if we want to take taku and translate it soon, like our friends at the ESV committee, there's a historic challenge for us, right? The book of Revelation was written about 20 centuries ago. And as finite creatures who are still walking and talking and breathing, the odds are we've not experienced anything like that as a length of time. 20 centuries is about 100 generations. I want you to think about this for a moment. There's you, then there's your parents, that's one generation. Then there's your grandparents, that's two. Then there's your great-grandparents, that's three. Then there's your great-great-grandparents, that's four. The book of Revelation was written about 100 generations ago. By almost no estimation can we say, if Jesus came right now, this moment, by almost no estimation could we say that it was soon in a historical context going back that 100 generations, that 20 centuries. It has been quite some time by virtually anyone's estimate, right? But if we look at that verb, erkomai, and we say we're talking, that's I come quickly, but if we talk about the nature of his coming, whether it be today, tomorrow, or another 20 centuries from now, then the manner of his coming is quick, swift, speedy, without delay, at a rapid rate. Like it says in one of the Gospels, he said his coming would be like a flash of lightning from one horizon to another. Boom, lightning fast, right? Doesn't mean it's going to happen soon, but when it happens, quickly, swiftly, speedily, at a rapid rate, right? So that's one possible explanation here. The explanation that a detractor would give is it's been 20 centuries. Obviously, you can't trust what this says. And in Koine Corner and here at the Wednesday Word of the Week, I'm not here to convince you one way or another. I'm here to look at the text. I'm here to look at the language. And what I'm suggesting is that just based on the verb erkomai, I would take it as quickly rather than soon, because we're talking about the activities of an individual, the actions of an individual. You can say that his coming is an event. There's legitimacy to that. But here, he uses the active verb, an active indicative verb. And I want to take that as quickly. not because I want to cop out, but because when I look at the New Testament and the use of taku with transitive verbs like that, it seems to lend itself more to describing the nature of the action rather than the timing of the action. There are obviously examples, we've looked at 2 today, where taku refers to the timing of events, right? But I don't think that's the case here. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm sure my friend Joe is going to let me know what he thinks. And in the meantime, like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until next time, hope we see each other taku soon on the next Koine Corner or the next Wednesday Word of the Week. And until then, charis kai reine humin, grace and peace to you.